going to try taking a bit of a shorter approach because I realize that confessional is starting to be used as a very loose term. And before you said, what do you mean by that? Last one I recorded was 2 hours long, and it was mainly just me looking at Fred and doing parallel beats, and I think that is a bit of a stretch when it comes to really talking about game. So I think I'm going to try and keep it a little more concise. I want to actually say something. Camille, if you're seeing this, I'm very sorry about how mad I look. I'm fine. I'm a wee bit annoyed that I didn't get top 6, but you know, ultimately it's fine. It's merely a game, and I shouldn't be getting so mad over it, and I apologize. But I would like to say, first of all, trust rankings, this is a bit tough. I ultimately think I keep like lying for absolutely no reason. It's ultimately going to do more harm than good for me. But I think as a result of that game, I might be a bit wary. Gumball, he's such a trustable fellow. It's really frustrating because I cannot distrust the man. He's very competent to talk to. I'll just be completely honest with that. I guess the fuck. Sorry, there's a piggyback on that. This is my living room, by the way. This is over there. That's where the Connect is when I play the stats. This is in my room. Acoustics might be a bit bad, but I've played fucking Barbie Girl on the Just Dance, and like, I think that's ultimately more embarrassing than anything I'm gonna say here. So, yeah. Game End like Gumball at the top. I think Game End. I worry a lot less about Game End. Yeah. I'd say that I believe Gumball. I really don't know. I'd say I put them equally. I trust both of them, I suppose. Or at least I trust they trust me. Because I'm being quite open. And I don't mean to be pushing emotional baggage onto people. It's just I worry that I'm a bit too... I suppose I simplify things. Because something I'm worried about is, as of late, is that I've been doing things merely based on how cheap of a laugh they'd be. Just to easily get some comedy. Because look at me head. This isn't a smart decision. This isn't a rational decision someone makes. And I'm kind of thinking, maybe I should calm down a bit. You know? Like the British jokes, I get it, but like, I'm a second generation immigrant. I don't tie much into the culture, really. The most is the UK grime scene that I'm interested in, but like, seriously, I'm not very interested in British culture. But yeah, I also want to apologize if it feels like I'm pushing a lot onto people when it seems inappropriate, and if that is the case, I'm very sorry. But yeah, in third-ish, I would put, I think Switch. I think Switch thinks that I will cling on to him as a beacon of, this guy is my guy, because we've been together through several swaps. And, you know, he's a nice fellow. I like talking to him. It's interesting that he has very different interests, so you can see how those tend to, you know... I can like look into things like, say, hockey, which I won't ever take an interest in myself outside of this kind of environment, which is really nice, and that's kind of part of the reason why I enjoy doing an org. Which is, you know, so Switch is a lovely fellow. And after that, I'd probably say Jer. Jer, I don't distrust him. I don't have anything wrong with him, it's just, I don't see why he would value me more, whilst I do see like that in Switch. And then Gumball and Game Man, if they vote me out, they're gonna feel like shit. And ultimately, that's something. Yeah. But on a serious note, yeah, I do genuinely believe that Jer is less likely to find the value in keeping me around. But he does seem like a nice fellow. It's interesting to see his background. He's just an interesting fellow to talk to, and I think that's something that's valuable, even outside of who's valuable in a game sense. Because ultimately, game sense, I'd rather just talk to people that are interesting. Speaking of which, Sasuke, he talks a lot. When he's getting into a conversation, he gets in. He seems to have a pessimistic outlook, and one that is more close to what you would find generally in a Discord fellow, which isn't bad, but it's more... I already know people who would look down on, say, the Minecraft PvP community. I don't give a fuck, personally. It doesn't affect me. But pessimism isn't exactly what isn't what I'm looking forward to talking to someone for. But he does seem like a nice fellow with interests. It's just not one that particularly aligns with me, which is it's reasonable. Then you have Sled. Well, no, you have Mallow then Sled, but I think I have to just cut the rope with Mallow. Mallow's actually probably above Sasuke as well, because we now have a level of trust with the Minecraft, but it just doesn't seem feasible. Mallow isn't talking to people. There's no way I'm going to be able to stick my neck out for her. It just isn't a feasible thing for me to be able to do. So as a result, Mallow just ends up at the bottom. But that isn't as a result of any issue with me and them. It's more them and other people. Mellow's lovely to talk to, actually. It was very nice working on Minecraft with her. Mellow, if you've seen this, good job. I didn't want to vote you out, but it just seemed like a inevitability. And if I get voted out, I look like a bellend. But yeah. After that, I guess Sled at the bottom, if we're excluding Mallow. But Sled isn't... Sled's... I'm worried about Sled. Because I know they have my idol piece and their idol piece. So that's Season 3, Season 4. Sorry. Season 3, Season 4. And I don't have confidence that... I think that at this point, I realize that hunting for the idol, that's going to be too much mental stress. You're going to have to figure out so many different things. You're going to need to figure out like why someone would go somewhere, literally every time someone goes somewhere. And that's just not fun. And I don't want to do that. I'd rather give up on the idol, say that's not happening, that's fine. Maybe use my knowledge at some parts. I should probably start telling people that I have the Season 3 piece. Because that puts Sled and Sasuke in a much weaker position. Speaking of which, did they know something? I think they gotta be working together to know that, right? I think what probably happened was Camille knocked on me to Sled. Although I do think that me knocking on Camille to Sled kind of might equalize that out. I'm not sure. But yeah, Sled has that dirt on me, and I haven't like openly shared that with them. Shit. There's that. Sled also, just again, 2 idle pieces, that's scary. I know that they're strategically smart, so they'll probably use it correct should they get their hands on it. I also just don't find the conversation that interesting. I get that they have interesting, like, hobbies, but it's just really hard to get someone going with them, especially when they seem to be on at very irregular times, which I'm already really bad at responding to people because I'm too scared to respond to them and say the wrong thing. Speaking of which, I keep saying stupid shit, and it's just a complete lie, and I usually need to like just cut the rope and be like, yeah, it was a cap. I don't know why. I said it. I'm just very stressed. Which again, I don't like doing that. It makes me, I worry that again, I come off too strong. But at sometimes you just gotta cut it and be like, yeah, okay, I fucked up. But I'm just helping the people mercy that enough to not be like, okay, I'm gonna immediately spread this dirt. They probably will. Probably merge. It'll probably come back to bite me. And I'll probably get like, at best I'm gonna say 8th. And if I get 8th, I'm gonna look really cool. But yeah, outside of that, what else is there to really talk about in the game? Tribal, yeah, what the fuck are you thinking, Camille and Rose? That's ridiculous. Also, again, meme. Why is that a category? It's just gonna sound rude, but I just don't see how it's applicable to the same criteria as something else, as the other categories. Like, the subjective qualities of art are very different to the subjective qualities of memes. That's comedy, and then that's art. There's a difference. You can't like compare fucking that boy to the Mona Lisa. Like what is the value of one to the other? The Mona Lisa, it's supposed to be impressive. It's supposed to be detailed, and the details are supposed to impress you that a human did this with a paintbrush and paint. That's the value of it. What's the value of that boy? It's stupid as shit, and that's why some people find it funny. And that's another thing. Some people find it funny. Art, you can generally find a general consensus on. Humor, that's never going to happen. Like, there will always be one person that differs from what everyone else is saying about a certain thing. Like, I'm sure at least one person watches is like, Big Chungus isn't funny. And what the fuck is the deal with them? We'll never know. But we have to account for that as a serious human opinion someone can have on a subject. And I think that when you decide to even cross them, you really start getting into a complicated territory there, where it's not really fair to judge. And also, fucking Sudoku and Tetris. Well, actually, we had the Sudoku guy, but and even then, they lost. Because, yeah. No, the fuck is that? Sudoku, Tetris, Super Hexagon, Maze. Sudoku, Tetris, Tetris, Super Hexagon. That's two that we are already going to be struggling. That's not really. You've kind of given us a deficit. And why we had an up was, I don't know. Sudoku technically with Sled, I think that we would have theoretically had an. You would predict us, like, if you would have bet on one of us as a team, you just say, choose one of your guys to do Sudoku from each team. You would bet on us. That's the only, like, noticeable advantage. Well, obviously my creative prowess, but we don't talk about that. I've gone undefeated in creative challenges. I've never been last. I might have been second in season 3. No, season 2. I'm not sure about that, but I have never been last in a creative challenge. And that's why I'm the GOAT. That's why people call me the GOAT. You know what I mean? But yeah. That challenge was stupid. I also want to, again, about the pinball, I'm kind of mad. I mean, I don't really care that much. 3 hours, sure, yeah. But I'm mainly doing it for the sake of, like, I get it, you fucking know, right? Canadian bitch. And I don't give a fuck. I respect that he's got skills. I'm a bit annoyed that it's apparently one of his worst games and he still just demolishes like that. And I'm not looking forward to merge where it's just going to be him and Rose and maybe somebody else getting immunity every time. Like, please, be like, pick the most boogers from your nose and put them in a stack and who can make the biggest booger tower. Do that. I would kick ass at that one, man. That would be so sick, you know what I mean? I get a challenge with me, the goofy dumb motherfucker. I'd live for that. I mean, I live for that. Not I'd live. You got it, but yeah. 12 minutes. Christ, I can ramble, can't I? I can ramble some more. Let's make that like 15. Yeah. Ask the Titan come in and clutch on the pinball challenge. I love that, man. I love the triangle. The GOAT of pinball. Technically not, but functionally. And in my heart, the GOAT of pinball. You know, Camille, he's like the, I don't know, who's a villain in media. He's like the Joker 2019 of pinball. Astatin's like who's the hero? He's like the Paddington of pinball, you know? Good and bad, but good is better. It don't matter how much bigger the number is. Good is better. Also, it's so fucked up that 3 people found horses. How do you just find okay, I probably could have went for a walk and found like a police person with a horse, but how are you gonna be like, hey, mate, can I take a picture with your horse? You're just gonna look like an absolute dipshit. And I'm Asian, so they probably think, oh, we're a foreign person. Oh, fucking bullshit, man. Yeah. I'm just curious, did I have a confessional going into swap? I don't believe I did. I believe all my confessionals were pre-swap. So I'll also go over what my choice rankings I think were. At the top it was Switch, I believe. Same reasons as now. I think that there's an idea that we work together just to get through swaps because we have that. I think it was Colin afterwards. I think there's a respect that me and Colin have. I'm not sure if that's correct because he isn't talking to me, but I think that's maybe because he doesn't want to initiate, which is fair. I don't really like initiating either. I only do it because I'm worried that I'm just going to be completely inactive and I don't want that. I think after that it was Jer. It was Jer or Astatine. Maybe Astatine. Astatine because I think there's also a respect because I'm talking in his weird Melman language. I don't know if everyone does that, but it certainly isn't easy. I think you gotta fucking figure out what Melman, Granked, Flurp, Beans. I don't know what these words mean. Do I look like a man that understands more than fucking, I don't know, English? Je n'ai pas le français. Menos habla es español. I don't fucking know. Yeah. And then Jazz just again, as I said, a nice fellow. I like talking to him. And then after that, I can't remember. Who was the last person I tried? Let's do someone really fucking irrelevant now I think about it, if I can't even remember him. Oh, yeah. Whoever it was really stupid, and they probably placed really badly in their season due to just not being that skilled. We'll never know. But yeah, that was, from recollection, I think, what my trust rankings would have looked like. I don't think I had any other really comments. I predicted the swap. That was... Camille predicted the swap, and then I said I predicted the swap. Who the fuck am I kidding? But still, I had a rough idea, and I wasn't caught that off guard. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a swap after F16. No, that would be ridiculous. What? Let me think about it. F20. 19, 18, swap. 17, 16, swap. 15, 14, 13, merge, I think? So we got 2 tribals to go. We have 2 pieces of fodder on our team, so we can hopefully make it through as long as they don't decide, why don't we flip? I am glad to be going to a tribal, actually. Like, unironically, I think it's good, because you don't want to be the fucking Camille that goes through the whole pre-merge, no tribals, because you are just going to be seen as this fucking sweat that didn't have to work for nothing in his life. You know? You are Jeff Bezos, and nobody likes you. Fuck you. You don't get to rep the bald privilege. You didn't earn it. You're just old. Piece of shit. But yeah, that's my general thoughts. I try to keep a consensus. Just kidding, I didn't. I'm sitting here alone at fucking midnight. I want to talk to people. But I'm too scared to do it because I will slip up and say something like, oh yeah, by the way, I actually have 20 idols. And then get caught in a lie. Yeah, thank you for listening. And I apologize again for being so angry when I shouldn't be. I am trying to... What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to have fun. But I'm also trying to blend, I suppose, entertainingness. And I think on one level, you kind of can only choose one. Well, no, you can't choose only one. But you have to commit. And I'm not good at committing because I just feel bad, because these are people who I actually know. When I'm avenging Toaster, it's fine, because these are random people who I never talk... Well, I haven't talked to them again, but... They're people who I don't know well enough to actually feel bad, and I can also still maintain conversation with them. With Camille, I just feel bad. You know, Camille's like one of my fucking day ones. I've known him for a while. I don't want to do that to him. Again, very sorry, Camille, if you see this. You are not a Canadian bitch. But you are a bitch. I'm just not convinced you're from Canada. Thank you for watching. This has been me on my cat. Well, let's stretch it to 2 minutes for the ad revenue. Thank you for watching, seriously. And if there's anyone else who is frustrated by what I've been saying, whether it be just not talking to you because I'm scared, or saying too much, I apologize. I really do not mean to cause any sort of frustration or stress within anyone. I understand that it can be very unpleasant, and apologies. Also, if you're looking at this fucking postseason, I probably placed worse than you, but I had a better time. Just kidding, I didn't have a better time. But I'm going to say I did, so you feel worse about yourself. Because that's what it's about. It's not about being better than other people. It's about making them think that you think you're better than them. That's society for you, eh? Like Joker 2019.